Okay, the 2 forks, because they always think it's a meal for more than one person. Let's do this reveal. Oh, yes. Carne asada and adobada tacos. And then a half order. Ooh, girl. Huh? Carne asada chips. I don't think they're gonna be as good as the other spot, but we're gonna try. What's up, ChocoLumpia Lessons tribe? It is ChocoLumpia of ChocoLumpia Lessons, and I am here today with another mukbang. But what we're gonna do is I am going to react to a Mr. Nightmare horror story. And if you've never watched Mr. Nightmare, I've heard a lot about him. I've actually watched other reaction stories where they were watching his stuff, and I wanted to try my own. But first, let's talk about what we have here. We have tres TJ tacos. They're the best. I have 2 carne asada, 1 adobada because I like it. And then we have a half order of carne asada fries. And then look at this plethora of hot sauce. Wow. You know, and I will use all of them. It's fine. I know you're probably wondering, well, I'm wondering why I didn't change before I did this, but I felt like I looked cute. I looked nice. Teal, okay, love teal. And, you know, I had a Zoom meeting thing, and so I just never changed, and here we are. I might need to change though, because I like to get my hands in all the food, you know? Okay, let's squirt some lime and not get that on myself. Do some lime. I'm gonna take a few bites before I start watching this. I don't know how scary these are. Now, I love scary stuff, but here's the thing. Real life is real scary already. You know what I'm saying? It's been crazier over the last couple of years. I feel like we all understand this. Ooh, look at this hot sauce. Look at this hot sauce. I love TJ tacos. If you've never had TJ tacos before, I haven't been to TJ in a long time. Tijuana. Pero like, I used to always go just to have the tacos. The tacos. So good. Okay, let's sauce this up too. We're gonna start off with one of these chips because they are crunchy. And honestly, it's really funny to me. I love that you guys love these videos. These are the videos I get the highest views on. But also, I'm not a mukbanger. Mukbanger, you know? I love food. Woo! And typically, listening to someone eat makes me want to kick them in the throat, which is, you know, that's not very nice, but that's how it makes me feel. So if you guys like that, I will do it for you. You know, if you're not into that thing, then obviously don't watch this. But if you also are kind of here for the reaction part, I get that too. You know, it's confusing. It's confusing. I do a lot of different things. I likes a lot of different stuff. Pardon my finger. It just felt very like I was glowing. And I know. Ah! But let's be real. Okay, so first bite. Oh. Okay, the chip couldn't handle the weight of all of the stuff. That's how my booty feels, or that's how my back feels. Kidding, kind of, not really. Oh, sorry, I didn't even show it to you. How rude of me. First bite. That's good. Next bite. So good. Okay. The other place was better, but this is very close. It's a very close second. I think they did some market research. Which, if you are a business owner, it's important. It's important to do sorry, sometimes when I'm eating, it's like weird to talk. Like I don't, in real life, I don't necessarily like when people talk when they're eating. I don't like to do that myself. But for these mukbangs, like, some people don't like the talking. I get it. The sauce is good. It's like a nice spicy. I feel like there's a nice mixture of stuff on top, you know? The salsa fresca or the pico de gallo. What's the difference? Sometimes I just switch up what I say. The carne asada is good. The guacamole. Guacamole. That's my favorite. Guacamole. Like, when people say to me, I don't like guacamole, I'm like, what? I don't even think we can be friends. Them's fighting words. How do you not like guacamole? How do you not love everything about it and want to put it on everything? You know, where it makes sense, like not sweets or anything. But actually, have you ever had an avocado smoothie? Those are actually really good. I mean, I know that's different than guacamole, but if I had the money from every time I've added guac to something because they charge extra for it, I'd be chillin'. I'd be straight chillin', bruh. From day one. Imagine. That would be a cool little side hustle to get that back. I mean, it doesn't work like that, but you feel me? You know what I'm talking about. I like to eat these while the chips are still crunchy, because there's just something about that sound. It's time for more salsa. Or hot sauce, not salsa. Yum, I've used 4, I've got 5 left. Perfect. Okay, one more chip and then I'm gonna move to the TJ tacos. Oh. Chips too fat. Fat with a PH. I'm trying really hard to not get food on my cute clothes. ChocoLumpia, why don't you just change? Like I said, I want to look cute. Okay. TJ taco time. I might take off my sweater because this is where we start to get a little bit messy. Woo! I know. My bra's a little bit dark for the shirt. It's fine. So I had the sweater on, you know? Whatever. Okay, one more. They gave me a fat stack. I appreciate that. Because even if I don't use them all today, I will use them later. I don't waste no napkins, but I'm also half Filipina and we don't mess around. Give me lots of napkins. You know what I'm saying? Okay, nothing went on that one. That's fine. One little bite of this. Watch after I take off the jacket or the sweater. That's when I start to spill. We're good so far, it's fine. All right. Which taco should I have first? The carne asada or the adobada? Show me. 1, 2. 1, 2. Camera 1, camera 2. We're gonna go 2. We're gonna go adobada. You know why? Because I just had all of this carne. But we're gonna come to here. We're gonna take a bite and then we're gonna start the reaction video. Now, first I should say, depending on how technical I'm able to get with this, I may not have it frame by frame, okay? Or frame in frame. We're working on it. This is still a new channel. I'm still figuring things out. Okay, I'm not professional. I don't have a crew of videographers and all of that. It's just me. It's just ChocoLumpia. I do all of it myself. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. Also, not sorry. And I'm still trying to experiment, and I am actually very proud of my progress in this journey of doing everything myself with the help of a couple of YouTube friends. And of course, those of you who are following, subscribing, liking, commenting, appreciate y'all so much for that. So as we grow, or as I grow and you come with me on this journey, it'll be great. And then when I get to, you know, let's be abundant and manifest and put it out there. When I get to 1 million subscribers, yes, I said it. When I get to 1 million subscribers, I might be dead. But when I get to 1 million subscribers in 100 years, you guys will be able to remember when I only had 48 subscribers, you know? And honestly, for me, like, being that I only started pushing this a couple of months ago, and obviously when you start you have 0 subscribers, right? But then to see it go slowly and start to increase as I've been adding more and sharing, I've been having a really good time. I've been having a lot more fun on YouTube, on the YouTubes, than I have been on any of my other social media platforms now, because people are crazy. And I know people are crazy everywhere. And it's not just, you know, we're gonna see. But I don't know. I just had to share that because I've been having a lot of fun here, and I want to thank you for being a part of it. I want to thank you for being a friend. No, thank you for being a YouTube friend, but also thank you for eating with me, for working out with me, for listening to me talk out of my ass, all of this stuff. All of the things. I'm using my hands a lot today. There's a lot of gesticulation, and matriculation. No, that's graduating. What's the other one where you're chewing? Mastication. Okay, so let's clear it up. There's a lot of gesticulation happening and masticating, but in the best way possible, okay? Anyways. I feel like, I have this one neighbor. He's super creep. He's super creepy. Yow. Just started whispering like he could hear me, but he probably could, because I know he's walking his dog, but like, just, and if you listen to my podcast, he's the same one. Anyways, I forget that this is public, but also, how is anyone, I doubt that they would ever, but if you listen to my podcast, he's the one I was talking about, doing martial arts. Okay, let's take a bite already. Jesus, talk so much. Here we go. Man. We're good. It's the orange juice. The orange oil. Oh, so good. This is gonna be a mess. I think I want more hot sauce. Okay. You can't put it down, you know, because everything falls apart. Okay. I can't reach my remote, of course. Oh. Hey. Okay. So the one I'm watching is called 3 Scary True Chuck E. Cheese Stories. Did I say through? That was like an out-of-body experience. Like I was enjoying the food and then I heard myself later. That word was true in case I said through. I don't remember now. Wow. 3 Scary True Chuck E. Cheese Stories, okay? By Mr. Nightmare. It's 12 minutes and 32 seconds. I want to finish this taco first, but maybe I'll just quit being a bitch and just start it. Let me give some backstory. The reason why I clicked on this one is I remember Chuck E. Cheese. Not like the dude, you know, like I remember Chuck E. Cheese locations, businesses. Oh, just spit that everywhere. Cool. The franchise, there you go. I remember Chuck E. Cheese. Okay? Okay. And I thought it was so cool. I thought the animatronic, is that what they call it? The little robot people? Yeah, animatronic band that would do a show every 30 minutes or whatever. I thought they were awesome. I did not like, oh, this is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna shove this whole thing in my mouth. That's what she said. Anyways. Oh, wow. Oh. Inappropriate. I did not like how it always smelled like feet in Chuck E. Cheese. Don't come for me, Chuck E. Cheese, you know it's true. And I don't know how you would, but the outfits or the costume characters, their outfits never seemed like you could wash them or that they were clean. I don't know how that works. If you just spray it with oh my Lord. I was gonna say Listerine and then Lysol, and none of those, I mean, Lysol, yes, but Listerine, I don't know where that came from. Wow, you guys, I don't know what's happening. My brain is breaking before your eyes. Okay, so if you're just spraying those outfits with Lysol, that's not enough, I don't think. But also, I've never been a cartoon character. Like, I mean, I'm kind of a cartoon character. I mean, in real life, like at an amusement park, you know? I've been in costume, but I've never had to be in one of those big outfits, even though everyone always wanted to put me in one. Because I'm little. I'm little, but I'm loud. Okay, anyways, let's start this. Oh, so also what I was gonna say is if I am not able to put it screen, then I'll put a picture of it and I will link the actual YouTube video in the caption so that you can watch it with me if you want, or you can just watch it and see what I'm reacting to. But I always love to give people credit because credit is important. It's important, and not stealing people's shit and being, you know, a weirdo. I'm gonna turn on the captions because I'm gonna keep the volume low, just in case. I don't want a copyright issue.
Remember Chuck E. Cheese, that old arcade with the singing animals?
Okay, we're starting.
Of course you do.
Animatronics, I was right.
They went bankrupt recently. Made me think back to my horrible experience there as a very little kid. I was no older than 8 or 9. It was like my third and last time ever at a Chuck E. Cheese. This specific location closed down years ago, but it used to be basically down the street from our old house. My mom took my little brother and I, and she let us roam free and do our own thing and play the games, while she sat at one of the tables reading like most of the other parents.
Just shoveling it in my face.
She was playing this clown game where you had to shoot the clown's teeth out with this little cannonball shooter.
I love
I was
clowns.
playing the games that would get me the most tickets for the prizes. I finished the game again, and the ticket shot out from the ticket slot.
Oh my God, the tickets, and who would win?
I turned and jumped in my seat. I was greeted with a giant Chuck E. Cheese mascot in my face. He held out his hand for a high five. Naturally, I gave him his high five with a smile. He then pointed at the tickets and gave me a thumbs up. I think I just continued laughing and smiling and said, yeah. Then he pointed at the tickets once more and motioned for me to follow him. So I read my tickets for the slot and followed the giant mascot. As we walked across the main floor, a couple other kids around like 6 came up to him saying, hey Chucky. We gave them both high fives. I kept following him, wondering if he'd tell the other kids to follow him. I turned back every few seconds to make sure I was still following. Finally, we made it across the main floor by the stage towards this back area, where he waved me to follow him through this employees only door.
No, you don't follow an employee through the employee's door by yourself.
Excited. We entered this narrow hallway. I felt kind of special for being allowed access back here. Keep in mind, I had the mind and maturity of a very young child. The mascot led me to this back room.
These photos of this location, if it's real or not, the photos I mean, is creepy. Like, I love watching documentaries just to educate myself on how scary the world is, but the footage, the real footage, is scary.
Possibly doing this empty room with me. Ghost, his furry mascot hand on my shoulder, and started rubbing from my shoulder to my arm.
Ew.
It seemed as though he tried to reach lower with both of his hands, and I pushed him off and yelled, stop.
No.
That's when the person in the suit lifted the mask off his head, revealing some sweaty, middle-aged man underneath.
No.
He started to remove the rest of the costume from himself.
No.
Be quiet.
You're not supposed to take off your mask and traumatize kids.
Finding my way for the door. When I thought he was distracted enough by the suit, I tried to run past him to the door. He grabbed me and told me to stop.
Oh my God.
He offered me all the desk. The girl
Good.
at the front desk seemed to be in a panic as well. I think she called for her supervisor.
Oh no.
Pretty soon, all the music was stopped, and the place was put into a lockdown of sorts.
Oh my
All
God.
the kids were to go to their parents. A bunch of workers ran to the back section. Eventually, police showed up outside. I had to give my whole story to the crowd of like 6 people, and I was extremely nervous.
I hope this is not true, but
Some random creep was snuck into the back section of the building to dress in one of the suits and apparently lure children to the back.
ew.
Realizing and looking back at that now as a grown adult is disturbing and disgusting. But I was the victim of a predator.
That's so creepy.
I found out if that monster was caught.
Oh no, I hate it. Okay, so if you're not watching, this kid, well, he's a grown up now, sharing his story, supposedly true, whatever, allegedly. I believe it, but he is in Chuck E. Cheese, and basically this Chuck E. Cheese person, mascot, comes over and says, "Come with me to the back." And so the kid, being a kid, follows him, and then he lures him into the employees area, which is basically like a locker room, and then he starts rubbing the kid's arm and then takes his mask off, the head of the Chuck E. Cheese mascot, and reveals his middle-aged sweaty man face, which is probably crazy traumatizing as a kid. It's crazy traumatizing as an adult, you know, sometimes seeing that shit. So I'm not trying to laugh at the story. It's, you know, so the guy keeps saying, "Hey, you know, if you just behave, I'll give you more tickets," or whatever. The kid runs. He goes to his mom, tells his mom, which is great. And then mom, thankfully, goes to the front desk, alerts the staff. The staff call the cops. The cops come. He tells his story. And the thing was that guy didn't even work there. It was just some random dude from the street that decided to come in, grab a friggin' Chuck E. Cheese mascot head from the back and tried to lure kids into the back room. Like, the planning and the execution of that, like, what? I just don't understand the craziness of people, you know, the production of doing that and trying to get away with it. And then the kid was like, I don't know if that person was ever found. Oh, I don't like it. Okay, commercials are over. Let's go to the next story. These are all Chuck E. Cheese, by the way.
I used to work for Chuck E. Cheese very briefly when I was 21 years old. I was one of the janitors / maintenance workers. No, not very awe-inspiring. I was broke as hell and needed money. All my job really entailed was cleaning tables and keeping the play areas generally clean. Sounds easy, but there was never really a time to just sit and take a breath. There was always something to clean or take care of. I would also be in charge of turning on and off the animatronics, opening the
I can't imagine being a janitor at Chuck E. Cheese, like kid vomit and kid feet.
Shifts would always be later, like 4 to 10 p.m. My location closed at 8 on weekdays and 9 on weekends. I would stay an hour, sometimes 2 hours after, to get the place in top shape ready for the next day.
These pictures of the locations are really creeping me out, though.
Everyone had already left the building, including the other workers, so I was the last one in the building. I was dragging my cleaning cart around the arcade area. I had already turned off all the game machines. It was by that space-themed arcade machine where you had to press the button at the right moment to stop the light on the jackpot. As I was passing by this machine,
Stressed out.
space-themed music suddenly lit from the machine at a very loud volume, and all the lights started flashing again. I felt like my heart was in my throat. That's how much it startled me. I fiddled with my keys to access the control port of the machine to turn it off again. I'd never seen anything like that happen before. It suddenly just freaked me out. Only because I was all alone in that big building pretty late at night. The weirdness didn't stop there, though. By this point in the night, I had already shut down the animatronics on the stage. So when I heard Chucky's pre-recorded laugh break the silence of the room,
No.
my heart started pounding again. The laugh was short and cut off. It almost sounded glitchy.
I used to work at a haunted hotel,
My cleaning clothes
and I was in the clown room a lot because I love clowns.
see they were in their idle modes now.
And that would be the soundtrack for the whole night.
Heads around every so often. I would have to go to the control
Clown laughs.
Second strange thing to happen that night. I started getting paranoid that someone else was in the building with me. That thought was interrupted. I noticed that the Chucky animatronic was facing me, and its head angled down perfectly to look as though it was looking at me.
No.
Bizarre that I was finding it that disturbing. I'm not crazy, but for my own peace of mind, with my eyes on the Chucky animatronic, I walked past it, closer to the control room. I waited there for a few seconds. Then the animatronic spun 90 degrees to face me
Shut
once more,
up.
perfectly. I swear it was once again looking right at me, and the laughter emitted once again from the animatronic. But in a creepy, glitchy, cut-off manner. This time much louder, obviously because I was right next to it. I ran to the control room to hit the switch to turn everything off on the stage once more. I left the control room. The Chucky animatronic was still facing the direction it was moments before. I left the stage through the curtain and I just felt uneasy. I started to think maybe it was all just getting to my head. That's when I heard the horrible laugh again come from the stage behind the curtains. That was the last straw. I took my card and clocked out and left. I texted my boss the next day that I had to leave early because I was feeling extremely sick. He said it wasn't a problem, but he never mentioned anything about the animatronics being left on. When I asked him if the animatronics had some kind of motion detecting feature and look at people, he said no, it didn't. I'm not the most superstitious guy, and I firmly believe I wasn't the only presence in that building that night. I don't mean there was another person in there.
What? Okay, so that one, hold on, let me pause. In case you didn't watch that one, story 2 was about this dude who got a job at Chuck E. Cheese for a few months. And he was a janitor. And he was closing one night and he kept hearing the laughter from the soundtrack go off. And then the animatronic, I'm laughing because this would freak me out. But also, I think he just was, I don't know. Because Chuck E. Cheese, like, that place is weird. It's a weird place. If you break it down, you know, like when you're a kid, you're like, oh, it's so fun. But then there's also really creepy moments. Like, Chuck E. Cheese is a scary motherfucker. If you look at him and the band I was just talking about, the animatronics, like, they wouldn't move. I mean, they're robots, so they're not going to move naturally. But it was like a very jerky, and then the eyes were like psycho looking. Anyway, so the machines were basically moving, and he felt like he wasn't alone because the soundtrack or the laugh track would go off, and the the animatronic of Chuck E, would flip around to face him, and it looked like it was looking at him, and he felt like he wasn't by himself, either spiritually or someone was there, but he thinks it was some kind of a weird spirit. Okay, that's a creepy one. That's why, yeah, I don't know, dude. But like I said earlier, I used to work in a haunted hotel, and there were definitely rooms and different areas where you felt like something non-human was there or existed before or didn't want you around. Like, it's a physical job, but there are many places throughout that job where I felt a force, which sounds so crazy, and I'm pretty agile and I know my balance and I'm pretty good with gauging things. Like, I wasn't wearing a head mask where I couldn't see, and even though I was wearing colored contacts, the pupil was free, so I could still see everything that was going on. There is a lot of lighting and stuff like that there, but there were definitely times where I felt like I was pushed or thrown, or like I lost a fingernail. Not like I lost it, like it popped off, like my fingernail bent back from trying to open a door that is normally not hard to open, but would get like lodged and then all of a sudden open. It's crazy. Anyways, okay. Story 3, here we go.
This is a story from my childhood, and I don't like to look back on too brought my two little sisters and I to Chuck E. Cheese one night. My sisters are 4 and 6 years younger than me, so it was more for them. My mom just wanted me to come along. My mom was playing games with my sisters, so I went to do my own thing. It was my only time ever at Chuck E. Cheese, so I was trying to play every game at least once. Eventually, a worker in a red polo shirt came up to me. He was in his lower to mid-20s, I'd say. He didn't seem that old. He asked me if I wanted some more tokens.
He just said he was in his lower to mid-20s, I should say. He didn't seem that old. Yeah, you said lower to mid-20s. That's not old.
Not to tell anyone that he had access to all the tokens he wanted.
No. Stop listening to strangers.
He tried to push that I follow him a little more.
This guy in a red polo who supposedly worked there.
He asked for my AIM user, and I gave it.
Ah.
I was excited for new friends on me.
Said I could give you more tickets, just follow me to my truck. No, bro.
Messenger that was all the rage before smartphones and text.
And then he asks him for his AIM messenger username. Or AIM, I guess you don't have to say messenger. AIM username.
Every single night, including that night after Chuck E. Cheese.
What?
I had a few friends online. Next thing I knew, I got a message from Ben. So I added him to my buddy list.
Ben.
He said, "Hey, it's Ben from earlier." I
Ew.
replied, "What's up?" And we started chatting. He chatted with me as if we were good friends already.
Oh my god.
I asked him how he was able to get all the tokens he wanted.
Guaranteed Ben's on the dark web now, doing the same weird shit.
He was going to come to my house that night with a bunch of tokens. I told him, "No, it's okay." He told me, "No, it's fine. You live really close to me anyway."
No.
I replied, "How do you know where I live?" He said he followed my mom's van on our way home.
Oh no.
I blocked his account immediately. I was beyond scared. I told my friends about it on AIM. Some of them said I should tell my parents or call the police. But I waited. Maybe he was bluffing. But no, he wasn't. I heard a truck pull up outside from my open window.
No.
I looked out the window and saw the black truck that guy was leading me towards earlier. I saw him get out from the truck, and I know he spotted me because he started walking over to my window. I pulled the window in and locked it, and then shut the blind. By that point, he was already halfway to my window. He was waving his arms at me. I ran to my mom to tell her. She didn't find it funny, thinking I was kidding at first. I convinced her after she looked out the window and saw the black truck begin to speed down the road. My mom wanted me to show her the AIM conversation, but I couldn't, as I had deleted him off my buddy list and blocked him. My parents called the police, of course, but that was just for peace of mind. They couldn't do anything besides make a report. The next day, my mom called the Chuck E. Cheese and asked about a Ben. They said they had no Bens who worked there. There were also no employees matching that guy's description. Chuck E. Cheese eventually handed the CCTV footage from the day before to the police department for an investigation, which turned up no results. My family never went to a Chuck E. Cheese ever again.
Oh my god. How? Okay, pause. All right. So the last story, basically where I left off, was the kid gave the guy his AIM username, right? They were chatting later that night. The guy was like, "Hey, he was gonna give him something, maybe more tickets. I don't fucking know." But he was like, "I'll come by. I'll drop it off at your house. You live closer to me than, it's easy." And the kid was like, "How do you know where I live?" And Ben goes, "Oh, well, I followed your mom after you guys left." So then he blocks him on AIM, and he's like, maybe the guy will just forget. But he goes and tells his mom, which is smart. So everyone, remember to always tell your parents. This channel is not for kids, but in case you're a kid watching for whatever reason, if something weird happens to you, always tell your parent, okay? Don't hide that shit and be like, "Oh, well, I'm ashamed," or "I don't know if I should say something." Yes, you should say something, because at least you said something, and then they can take the proper action as an adult, which would be to call the police, which is what his mom ends up doing the next day. But before that, the truck that the Ben guy had ends up pulling into the driveway, and he can see this from his window, so he gets freaked out, but then nothing happens, so that's good. But that could have gone so many wrong ways, right? So the mom calls Chuck E. Cheese the next day, asks if they know a Ben character. They say they don't have any Bens that work there. She gives him the details of what he looks like, and they say we don't have anyone who matches those descriptions. But then eventually the CCT footage was shared with the cops, and then, you know, they just never went to another Chuck E. Cheese. But the moral of these stories is these people, these guys, and it's not just guys, it's anyone, but in these 3 examples, they happen to be men, are still out there doing who knows what. Like, these people sharing the stories are grown men now, and that's like years and years and years of how many kids could be hurt, murdered, stolen, you know? Like that, this kind of stuff is what scares me more than any horror film. Because this is real, and these are real people, and you know, it's YouTube also, so who knows if these are fabricated. But I'm sure if you were to talk to several people about an experience at Chuck E. Cheese, 1 out of 5 of them, and that's not that's a statistic that I made up, that's a ChocoLumpia statistic. I'm sure that 1 out of 5 people would have a creepy Chuck E. Cheese story, okay? And that's just going based off of the stuff that I've seen in documentaries and in the news, okay? But the moral of the story is, stay home. Stay away from people. No, the moral of the story is always be aware. Don't feel like you have to be nice to someone who's a stranger. When I say that, I'm not saying be rude or be a dick to people. I'm just saying you don't have to like smile at all of the strangers. You don't have to befriend people. Like if someone asks you a personal question, you don't have to answer anything. You don't have to tell anybody anything. You don't owe anyone anything. We, when I say we, I mean when I was growing up, and I'm sure it's probably similar, but not completely the same. It was always said that, you know, be respectful of your elders, which you should, but also there's elders who are not here to be nice to you or protect you. You know, does that make sense? Like, not everybody who's older than you is a nice person, and that doesn't mean that everybody is mean, but you just have to be you have to think for yourself, man. You have to think for yourself. And again, this is not a conspiracy theory podcast, but like, think for yourself, be aware of everything. Don't trust everybody. Like, just because someone's an employee of something, like at this Chuck E. Cheese place, doesn't mean, and these people weren't even employees, except for the custodian, but he was, you know, like, they're people from the street that just walked in, and for some reason were just super able to act like they worked there, which is super creep. Okay, anyways, that was a long story about who knows what, but yeah, I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna save this for later. I am full, and then the agitation, you know, of the real world. But yeah, stay safe, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Bye.